He waded into the water, carrying a long fishing pole. He baited the hook and cast the line out into the deeper water. Not since he and Andrew were boys had he gone fishing with an individual line, and the pole in his large hands felt strange and awkward. While he waited for a nibble, Peter went over the events of the morning. Less than an hour ago, the collectors of the temple tax had stopped him on the street. "Does your master not pay the half-shekel?" they had asked. "Of course he does," Peter had snapped back. The question had taken him by surprise. Why hadn't they approached Jesus directly? And since every male Israelite over 20 knew his obligation to pay the annual 1/2 shekel tax, why should they imply that the master might be remiss? Later, when he had joined Jesus and his companions in the house, Peter had decided to take up the matter with the master. But Jesus had anticipated his remarks. "Peter, do you think the sons of the kingdom should pay taxes?" "No, only foreigners." "Right, but we don't want to scandalize these tax gatherers, so we'll pay the tax." Peter looked about for Judas, who carried the purse with the general funds. "No need to take it from the common purse," said Jesus. "Go down to the lake and cast in a line. Take the first fish that bites. In its mouth you'll find a shekel. Give it to the collectors for both of us." The men with Peter had been talking among themselves. Now, as if by common consent, they fell silent. They looked at Peter, who stood there like a man not sure he heard what he thought he heard. But the next minute, Peter had walked out into a small adjoining room. When he came back, he was carrying a long fishing pole. Without looking to right or left, he strode past them and out the door. Now he was down at the lake, waiting for a fish to bite. He stood quietly, knee-deep in the water, but his mind was seething with questions. If the master intended to pay the tax, why had he refused to take the money from the general purse? Or if he meant to furnish the coin miraculously, why hadn't he simply said the word? Wasn't this fish idea a bit foolish? And why was he, Peter, chosen to carry it out? Peter looked out over the water. The wind was low and the sea was like a polished mirror. A small fishing craft lay motionless some distance away, its trawl slack in the afternoon sunlight. Suddenly, Peter's thoughts went back to a night a few months earlier when the master had asked him to walk on that water. The wind had been high and the waves wild.